Hello, welcome to our facility here in Cypress, Texas. We just got a whole container load of some saws that just came in. A few of them we already shipped out, but one of the new saws that was in this container is our S-6240M Cnc. So you may know this machine as our old S-1640M Cnc, but it went through a whole new design for 2025. And some of the main features of the design is the old model. We now have a one-piece frame where the old one was a two-piece frame. A little bit harder for installation, but we were trying to ease this up. But as we walk around, we added a lot of new features also on this machine. So let's go in the front and kind of walk around it, and let me show you some of the unique features. So as we're looking over here, this model here has a 4-horsepower gearbox going through a drive motor, VFD drive. Plenty of torque for doing your structural steels in here. It is a totally flood coolant system, and then back here, if you kind of look, we have our little toolbox that comes, but these are removable chip trays. So the chips fall in there, you can pick them up and dump them. But the other nice feature, you take them out, easy to clean coolant tank on it. As we look around a little bit more, some of the newer features on it is, if you look way up there, we have the new style band tension unit. It's hydraulic unit, gives you your readings for your band tension. Well, that is fairly new. We do have down here, we have the variable, your variable vice pressure for your clamps. So when you're doing your thin wall materials, you're not going to smash it and go on there. We changed the top clamps, or your nesters. They are now giving you almost full capacity, but you still gotta fit them inside the vise. These are removable with quick disconnects. You can take them off if you're not actually using it. Another big feature in this saw, if you look here and you see this rod looking thing, this is your ball screw. This is what you use to change and do your mitering. It's all ball screw fed through this area right here, and your ball screw motor is back into there. The other thing, when you're standing and look back here, you'll see another ball screw cover. That is our indexer. This has a 23.5-inch index capability, but it is ball screws, so you can get your speeds to get your indexing moving your material. But as we're back here and we're looking, another feature I want to point out that a lot of saws in this class don't have, but you have a retractable fixed vise. So the nice thing about that is it opens up clearly. When that indexer goes back, we're not dragging on the material, pulling your material back. So another nice feature. If you look at the machine, you got your rails up into here. It's not just linear ways. We have chrome rods that your indexer is riding on, much heavier duty. And believe it or not, this machine is weighing in at 4,400 pounds. It is a lot of beef, sturdy to make your saw last year after year after year. So another nice little feature we do that a lot of saws don't have is, being that it's a miter saw, your saw guide's got to come way back when you're actually cutting a miter or they hit the vices. We actually make it, if you're not cutting miters and you're cutting straight, we're allowing the saw guide to get right up against the vise to give you straight square cuts. Another nice little feature. Couple little rollers on the back, lineup bar coming here. This is our hydraulic system. Now, being that we have ball screw, we don't need that super big hydraulic system. So you're going to see a much smaller, very complex area. We give you your total hydraulic pressure gauge, very visible to actually look. Another nice feature up into here. This machine has feed rate, feed forward, force system, your dual system, like you would have on bigger saws. Most saws in this capability only has feed rate, but we're giving you feed force and feed rate. It has the new OSHA safety feature on it, and what that allows you to do is basically, if you ever open a door, any safety is, activated, you manually have to go reset it now. It don't automatically do it. We also give you a key lockout for blade change. The advantage of that, if you don't want the operator changing blades, someone getting hurt or anything, you can control the key of who changes the blade. We got a nice touchscreen HMI here. It's very visible. It's easy to operate. Like I say, you're basically your vices, your indexer, everything is right here, easy to see. You also have a little indication. So when we start saying it's a CNC, what's that mean? CNC now is we give you the capability, as I go into automatic mode, you can actually pick the angle. So you have one angle and then your secondary angle. So you can go in and change your angle. Like right now, this one's at 10. I'm just going to touch it. And I'm going to say that's a 45-degree angle. And I'm kind of looking at this, hard to see. Let me do that again so I can, this saw's sitting up on a stand, which makes it a lot higher. But as you see, we have our 45. The other angle would be a 30-degree. So it'll do a 45 and then go do a 30. Come back, do a 45 and do a 30. But then if we go in there and we want to program our lengths, if you know your angle and you know the top measurement and the bottom measurement, you can program it in here and get perfect parts every time, as long as you know those top two angles. A nice feature. So it just don't cut parallelograms, it will actually cut different sizes for you. So you can do multiple angle and multiple lengths on the bar. So that's basically the system. I'm going to program a job real quick. So let's just go in here, for example. I'm going to back out and I'm going to say we're going to do a typical 45 and then we're going to do a 0. So very simple, 45 degrees one way, 0 the other. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, this angle, top angle is 6 inches. Say okay. Then what I'm going to just leave at 10, say that's okay. I'm going to make sure the job is turned on by hitting that. And I'm going to do 2 pieces and say okay. If there was something in the duns, you would just clear it out with the trash can. So we programmed it. We are ready to go. So all we're going to do is back it back out, hit auto mode like this. And at this point, the saw, you'll see we're starting to pivot 45 degrees onto it. Guess I should have done a little smaller angle because of time, but we're going to get a 45. And this saw will go up to a 60-degree angle one way. Only pivots, it's not a double miter, single miter, 3. So we're going to come in and show you how easy this saw is to run. There's one feature I want to show you in the manual mode, which is a very unique feature. It has the go-to angle function. So all we do is, I'm using my great JLH pen, should ask for one of these. It has a nice little soft tip on the end, but you would just go in, hit your angle and say I want a 15-degree angle. Put 15, say okay, hit this one here and the head will turn to 15 degrees. So if you're running in a manual mode, you just want one angle, it's very easy to go in and get that angle. But we're going to show you how to program it in auto. So the first thing, whenever you go into auto, you always got to make sure you have your clamps clamped. So you hold this down and make sure you have the green lights on both of them. So as you can see, I got the green light. It's there. It went out, but that's fine. So now we're going to go into auto mode. Again, we're going to put angle 1. Where we're going to say let's say it's 30 degrees. We're going to clear this. We're going to put in 30. and say, okay. The other angle we want, we're going to say it's a 15-degree angle and say, okay. So now we have the angles. I think I entered it. Let's just check. 30 degrees on one side of the tube or whatever you're cutting, 15 on the other one. Now we're going to set the lengths. The nice thing on this saw is if you look at your print and you need to have the top measurement and also the bottom measurement of the angle that you're cutting on the length of rod. So I'm going to say the top one is, say, 6 inches. The bottom one, I'm going to say that's 11 inches. Just put 11 in there, say okay. So I have a 6-inch on the top, 11 on the bottom. I'm going to highlight the job. That's the job I want to run. I'm going to do 2 pieces of this. Well, let's do 3. I hit the wrong one. And then you see I already done 1. So I'm going to trash can that. And just by doing that, I got to 0. At this point, all I'm going to do is go back in and find automatic mode on that you have here. When I hit this button, the saw will start. It's going to go to the 30-degree angle that we programmed. After it hits the 30, and everything's on here, the display, you can see what angle you're running onto it. Now our indexer is going to move that program of what I had. I forgot what I programmed, but I think it was like 6 inches. It's going to go back to 6. We're going to make that first angle cut. And as you can see, the indexer went back to 6 inches. I'm going to make that cut. And after it makes a head, we do have the wand there, the rapid approach wand. Right now, I'm having the head go all the way up for demonstration purposes. We don't need to do that. So it's going to go up. It's now going to index our part, that's 6 inches, but we're going back with our angle. I think I said 15 degrees. So if you actually stand here and watch, you can see the angle moving. You're at 16, 15, 2, 1. I'm there. I locked in. I indexed that part 6 inches, and now I'm going to cut that part. So I'm going to have one part at a 30 or 30-degree angle and the other one at a 15. Now it's going to go back that 10 inches or 11 that I said. So I have another perfect part that's going to be cut. And like I say, you need to know the top and the bottom. That's all it takes to program this saw. Very simple. I feel that this model is really going to be great for the fabricators in your shop. Now, we do make it in a other model that don't have this programmable angle that just will cut miters if you don't need the fancy, programming to get perfect parts. There, you're just going to cut parallelograms, and that's more for the occasional guy that wants to cut an angle every now and then. You're going to get a saw like this, doing all this program, and this saw is in somewhere in the mid $40,000 range. If you have any questions, give me a call or email me at tim@jlhsaws. I'd be happy to go answer it. We always can go have these saws on display if you want to do a phone conference, video, virtual, or anything. Or if you're ever in the Houston area, stop on in, say hello, take a look, because we have a lot of saws on display. I'm a little weak right now because it seems like the end of the year splurred, everybody wants a saw, but I have 2 more containers coming in with different model saws in them. So we can provide you with top quality saws. Thank you for taking the time and looking at this machine.